Yeah, hey, Bryce. Cute butt.
You're gay!
Friends. I have them, you have them, I think. We have all come across many different types of friends. Good friends, bad friends, online friends, strange friends. Some of you may have even experienced evil friends in the past like Greg Heffley. Greg might actually be one of the most hated people in fiction. After Mary, I love to cheat Jane Watson. Brother gets treated like an enemy of the state, and frankly, I hear it. He's a terrible person. Especially in that first movie of the trilogy. And yeah, I did say trilogy because I'm not counting anything that came after Dog Days. That was not part of my childhood. It doesn't exist to me. If you haven't figured it out already, today I'm going to be recapping the first movie in the series and breaking down why he is truly the worst friend ever. So the movie starts off with Greg's first day at middle school. This is the same as entering year 7 in the UK. His best friend Rowdy Jefferson comes through with the most unorthodox attire. I know the bullies are licking their lips right now. Nothing of great interest really happens at the beginning of the film, so I'm gonna give you the bullet points. They have PE, they hide from PE. A girl who has no friends spawns from under the stands. So in other words, she's a loser. They eat their lunch on the floor whilst rubbish falls in their heads. Personally, this would have me fuming because you could at least try and aim for the bin. A guy named Fregley tries to join the clique and he too is also a... Finally, they end the first day of school with Rowley attempting to commit social suicide.
Hey, Greg, you want to come over and play?
So overall, a terrible start to the year. One thing I realized about secondary school is that it was low-key natural selection. Only the popular thrive and survive. If you weren't good at sports, funny or attractive, which I was none of, you have to prepare yourself for a tough time. It's a war zone out there, Novodansk. I mean, you could sing and dance, but it's not enough. Or at least in my school it wasn't. And God forbid you're fat and ugly because that is just free smoke. Rowdy's ticking one of the boxes and dare I say which one. They arrive at Greg's yard and he has a eureka moment when they discover Roderick's yearbook. He decides that he's going to spend the year trying to become a class favourite in order to gain popularity. They end up joining the wrestling club as a means to accomplish this, but things went left immediately. Greg goes up against Fregley and gets disrespected. His next opponent ended up being Patty Farrell, and the outcome did not change one bit. The year has just started and his reputation's already in the bin. And you might be wondering, what's all this got to do with the title of the video? Don't worry, we're getting there. Tech time. Greg gets shown a tape during lesson and comes to the realization that he needs to word for word fix Rowley, since he isn't as awesome as him. Interesting, because last time I checked, you were the one getting pinned by a female. So who really needs fixing? Greg lets his vanity take the wheel and tries to turn Rowley into a clone of himself basically. He more or less got rid of the things that made Rowley, well, Rowley. And I'm thinking, why? Let the brother do what he wants. If he wants to ride pink bikes and sit on Santa's lap, let him be. Don't conform to society. Halloween rolls around and this time no Michael Myers. That was the last video. The orders come through and hit them up with a drive-by milk. At least I think it's milk. I hope it's milk. Greg opens his mouth and says the dumbest thing imaginable.
I saw your plates. We're calling the cops. Uh-oh.
So he's a narcissist and a snitch. What a great combination. Them boys are now on the run before seeking refuge in Greg's grandma's house. And you guys know I would never lie to you. So trust me when I say these are the worst villains in cinema history.
I'm gonna kick your butts!
Terrible! The two of them pop out of the garage tooled up. Bullies had to step back, they were feeling the spiritual pressure. But Greg loses control of the grass car and scratches the whip. The machine goes kaput and the Disney Channel bully resorts to more horrible dialogue which I will not play. Them men are now on the run again and I'm finding it hard to believe they got the bully so easily. And when I say they, I mean Rowley, because there is no way he's moving that quick. They eventually escape the bullies and that was it for the night of Halloween. There's a valuable lesson that can be taken away from this. Nothing good comes from snitching. If you see someone getting robbed, just turn a blind eye. It's probably a canon event. The next school day rolls around and Greg gets another idea to gain popularity. He decides that he should become a school fed. And I'm not even kidding, he literally called safety patrol.
The cops in middle school.
Now I've got nothing against the police, but please, enlighten me. What is so cool about being a fed? Exactly, nothing. We cut to Greg and Rowley building a snowman outside. Shortly after, Greg decides to throw an American football at Rowley whilst he's on the pushback. And guys need to lock in for this part because this is where everything changes. Greg hits the bike and sends Rowley sky high before landing headfirst in a pile of snow. School starts again and we see that Rowley acquired a broken arm because of the stunt. But little did he know that this was a double in disguise, because he started getting all the attention and even graduated from eating off the floor. Greg was hating that there was no tomorrow, talking about, where's my credit? For breaking his arm. And guys will do anything for clout because he fakes an injury in hopes of replicating the same results. What happened to shame? The only attention he ended up getting was the likes of Fregley. The next thing we see is Greg on his safety patrol shift. All these guys do is just walk kids, I'll be real. He sees a car pulling up on the mains and realizes it's the bullies from Halloween spinning the block. Greg tells the kids to jump in a ditch so that he can hide from the olders. But when the car enters his view, he realizes that he ID'd it wrongly, but it's too late. He's already been caught in the act by one of the neighbors. He gives her the impression that he's Rowley and S'd out, leaving the kids all alone in the pit. We're back at school now, and at this point in the film, Rowley has reached peak popularity. Every man was showing the kid love. Even the guy that he said had a cute butt was showing him love. This is a true underdog story if I've ever seen one. I'm not even exaggerating when I say this because... have you seen Rowley? Bro has more reasons to be unpopular than popular. I know this is a bit contradictory considering I was saying he should be himself and whatnot, but two things can be true. Those Mummy and Me shirts were not doing him any favors. Shout out to all the mothers out there, but this is school. Kids will roast you for just about anything. Rowley gets called into the head teacher's office and gets suspended from safety patrol since Greg, who pretended to be him, left the kids in the rain. Instead of telling the truth and clearing Rowley's name like a normal person, he just looks at him whilst he's on the verge of crying. Brother, where's the emotion? The sympathy? He eventually tells Rowley the truth that he was the one that terrorized the kids and threw him under the bus. But this apology was so backhanded because he didn't even really say sorry or even try to rectify the situation with the head teacher. He just made a joke out of it. Like, why would that ever be funny?
You know what, Greg? You're not a good friend.
Round of applause, everyone. His eyes have finally opened. Rowley acquires some cojones and starts speaking his mind to Greg, going through all of his crimes against friendship, starting off with deception, physical pain, hating. Look at these words. These are the traits of a villain. Greg tries to justify the broken arm by saying it made him popular, but it's not even like popularity was something Rowley was striving for. It just sort of happened. The only thing he cared about was their friendship. Rowley ends the convo by saying it's over and replaces Greg with some guy named Colin. He sees this and has an internal monologue of pure hatred before going out of his way to make Rowley jealous by befriending Fregley. This doesn't even make sense. You pushed away your day one just to become friends with the guy that slapped you up. Nah, I don't think you guys are truly understanding how flawed this plan is. Number 1, Fregley is weird. He was eating 6 jellies for lunch. That is not normal behavior. Number 2, nobody's going to be jealous that you're friends with Fregley. You can have him.
Greg Heffley, I love you.
Tweaking. Not gonna lie, Greg isn't that far from Fregley when I think about it. He saw a moldy piece of cheese on the floor and felt compelled to touch it. You guys are low-key in the same bracket. A couple other things happen after this, such as Greg joins the school play, Rowley and his mom tear up the dance floor, but we are going to fly over that and get straight to the action. Rowley pulls up on Greg. Nah, what's on his feet? But anyways, he pulls up on Greg asking for his video game back, but he's saying nah, find his keepers. The conversation escalates and they start running the ones. But the fight, if you can even call it that, comes to an end when a level 1 bully step onto the turf, and thank goodness because that fight choreography was egregious. But now that I think about it, why are these guys even here? Don't they have school themselves? They assert dominance and drop some more horrible lines.
You guys better scram or I'm gonna kick your butts too.
Brother has no bag when it comes to the dialogue. I don't even get why everyone started dashing. There's only 1, 2, 3 of them. True say I would have done the same. They make Rowley eat the moldy piece of cheese that's on the floor, and how his stomach wasn't doing backflips after ingesting that will always be a mystery to me. It's been on the floor for so long that there's a whole backstory dedicated to it. One day it just spawned out of nowhere and some kid decided he wanted to be patient zero of the cheese touch. He passed on to someone else and so forth, leading to nothing but straight pandemonium. They say Greg's up next, but a teacher spawns in the scene and they scatter. Everyone else comes back onto the playground and Greg takes the fall for Rowley. He drops a speech that no one cares about and they convict him of having the cheese touch now. To be honest, if anyone is gonna have it, it should be him. He's already at the bottom of the social ladder, so what difference does it make? They make up and return to being friends again. And I've come to the conclusion that Rowley might have the purest heart known to mankind. Or he's got amnesia, because Greg's literally the reason they had ops in the first place. So if you think about it, Greg made Rowley eat the cheese. Indirectly. Anyhow, I was in Rowley's position, the bullies are gonna have to sleep with their eyes open for the rest of their lives because my get back is going to be out of this world. And believe me, I am coming for them. Nonetheless, the film ends with Greg and Rowley making the yearbook as cute as friends. Anyone that read the Diary of a Wimpy Kid books growing up will know that this series was laced with crack. Like, these books were just so good, you just had to be there. Getting them at the library was actually mythical, because you would wait like 2 months for a copy just to breeze through it in 5 days. But yeah, that's it for today's video, and as usual, that's all she wrote.
語れない眠れないとろい目